and this is part 2. A library's catalogers usually create new or find existing bibliographic records in connection, then download the records into the local cataloging utility. We do this at IU. We look for existing bibliographic records in connection. If there is one, we verify it for accuracy and often enhance it to make it even better. This is called copy cataloging. If there isn't one already, we will create a new bibliographic record in connection. This is called original cataloging. In both cases, what we do in connection makes it possible for WorldCat users to know that we have a particular resource. Then that record exists in the Oclc WorldCat database and is available for display to the public in worldcat.org. We download the bibliographic records we find or create from connection and upload them to our cataloging utility, Circe Dynix Workflows. Then, that record exists in the Circe Dynix Symphony database and is available for display to the public in IUCAT. And therefore, by the transitive property, the bibliographic records we see in connection end up in IUCAT, and the resources we have at IU show up in worldcat.org. You will see the same or similar process at any library you go to, even those which subscribe to SkyRiver instead of Oclc. If you'd like to see more of what Oclc is doing to improve access to and use of the bibliographic universe, check out the Oclc research page. One of the important tasks for catalogers using connection to find bibliographic records in WorldCat is taking advantage of the indexes. In cataloging databases, much of the data is indexed in a variety of ways. For example, the series titles are indexed in one place, so that you can see them all in an alphabetical list, or search specifically for them. You are able to search using a word as a keyword, or browse using the first word of a series title. You are able to search using more than one word as a phrase, or browse using the first few words of a series title. And you are able to search using the entire title as a whole phrase, or browsing using the entire title as a whole phrase. These indexes are the closest yet that we've gotten to replicating the capabilities of older technology, the card catalog, as it was used with human interaction. Check out the Searching WorldCat Indexes page for more information about the indexing done in WorldCat. Especially look at the bibliographic record indexes to learn more about searching for the data we have already been working with. Do know that there are aspects of the search functions that can impede finding the best results. For example, as we create bibliographic records, we code the data in such a way that the database knows when a title starts with the word "the." It knows to skip that word when it indexes titles, so that every title starting with "the" doesn't end up in the alphabetical list under the letter T. The function in some indexes, such as the publisher number index, consider a space to be an error and will not complete a search when it sees a space. Other indexes, such as the title indexes, rely on spaces to know that nothing or the absence of letters comes before something, the presence of letters. D space Vincent comes before Del space Taco, despite the fact that L comes before V in the alphabet. Stop words are the most common words in a language, such as the word "and." The search functions in WorldCat indexes know to ignore those words when a user includes them in a search. Catalogers search indexes so much that they often take advantage of index labels to save time and get directly into specific indexes. These are just some examples of those index labels and where they go. A colon directs the system to search for a word, and an equal sign directs the system to search for a phrase. Then a / after a browse term will place limits on the results so that you can narrow a browse even further. Once you have logged into the Connection Cat Express interface, choose the Search button in the upper left corner. You have two options for searching, the first being the command line search box. This is where the index labels can be used. The other option is the keyword or numeric search, where you can choose index labels from drop-down boxes instead, which helps if you aren't sure of the index you need or want to explore the options. Clicking on the Browse button instead only gives the option for selecting an index from a drop-down menu, but specifically only those which can be browsed. Here are some examples to try out once you have logged into Connection Cat Express. Use the command line search box under the Search button. Consider looking at each of these with and without the different parts to see the difference in results. By adding a / and a code, you can limit your search by physical format. This list is found in Searching WorldCat Indexes, but here is a quick reference in case you want it. The same applies to limiting your search by publication date. You can search specifically by year with the year index label, or append it to the end of a command line search. Limits such as publication date and physical format can be added together, as you see in the first personal name search for Mozart, limited to books published in 2016. Separate searches can also be combined using Boolean operators, as you see in the last personal name search for Mozart, simultaneously searching the publication year index for books published in 2016. You're welcome to explore any combination of the options at the top of Connection Cat Express to see what works and what doesn't, or just to see what happens with each of them. By using the login information given for this course, you are accessing WorldCat in a training capacity, so nothing you do will break anything. Explore to your heart's content. You have two ways to browse, either in the command line search by starting with the code SCA or scan. This directs the system to specifically browse an alphabetical index instead of search the content of that index. In this case, the equal sign is a necessary substitution. Or you can click the Browse button and skip the scan command and index label.